Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Just adjusting my camera there. I am reading for Libra energy today, and I'm asking, what do you need to give up? What do you need to do less of? What do you need to stop doing as we leave 2023 and going into 2024? What do we want to do more of? What's good for us, right? What should we embrace? So I've got a few intuitive messages for you. The thing that's coming through really strongly is this idea of like Wonder Woman. All the air signs today are getting this kind of like superhero theme coming through, but you're coming through like Wonder Woman. And the way it's coming through for you is like you know, when people do something and they step up and they're the hero of the moment, it's almost like you're stepping into Empress energy or stepping into Justice energy. Both Empress and Justice cards are you in the tarot. So if you think about that, you're like the Justice card, Queen of Swords, Empress. It does kind of come through like Wonder Woman. It's kind of like, you know, she's got like the lasso of truth, because the Queen of Swords is Libra for me, and it's all about truth and justice. And I'm hearing like justice for all. But in a really powerful feminine way, you know, it's kind of like this, you know, Wonder Woman, she's this goddess from this tribe of women, and she's powerful and she's not afraid to speak her truth and demand truth from others. So it's coming a bit like justice warrior kind of thing, social justice warrior. It feels like it's because of a certain place. It's like you're defending a place. So it's a place that's coming through as being somewhere that's quite nostalgic for you. So this could be like the place where you grew up, or something that you associate with, like, you know, the identity of the place, your memories and identity of the place, especially because you've got memories, shadow, beautiful. So it's kind of like, you know, there's something worth fighting for here, or I won't let you trample all over this beautiful place, is the way it's coming through. And it does have this kind of feminine element. So if you don't identify as feminine, I would say that you're supporting either a group of women or a specific female, as she it's like you've got this energy of like standing up to authority. So it's funny because both you and Taurus are ruled by Venus, but you're almost coming through as like standing up to Hierophant energy, almost like corrupt Hierophant energy, and you're saying, I'm going to fight this with my truth. It's like my truth and honor will fight this corrupt system, is the way it's coming through. Now, another reason why I'm really kind of like reinforcing this idea is because your song is Reason is Treason, which is so funny because I feel like I was talking about that in Taurus's reading. I was talking in one of the readings, I was talking about this this strategy that tyrannical governments have, in association with media, where they do something called waves of fear. And basically the concept is, if we scare the general population enough and we keep them in this perpetual state of kind of like emotional response, whether that's anger or fear, right? Something that pokes at somebody's emotions. They're not in a logical state of mind, right? They're in an emotional response state. And so they are therefore easier to manipulate. You know, if we scare them and say, hey, this is the answer, everybody vote for this, then everybody votes for it. So think about kind of like what happened during kind of like lockdown and some of the stuff that was in the media and some of the fear that was around there. Sort of think about those sort of themes. I'm not talking about any specific one, by the way, or any specific government. Just as somebody who studied humanities, right, historically speaking, this is a pattern, especially to do with like corrupt or tyrannical governments. So sort of like Hierophant energy in the reverse. Yeah, then after, you know, so the news breaks, everybody has this fear response. Everybody's like, it's the end of the world on social media. I mean, you can think about things like, you know, we had, I live in the UK, and throughout my life, we've had, you know, BSG. Oh my God, everybody's going to get mad cow disease. We had bird flu. Everybody's going to die of bird flu. We had swine flu. We had, you know, the recent flu that went round. It's like every so often there's always this big flu that's going to kill us all, and it never does, right? Yeah, some people do die if they have underlying issues like they would from flu, but you know, it's not necessarily as scary as they make it seem when the news first breaks, you know. But we all think it's the apocalypse. You know, every time there's a war or conflict, it's, oh my God, it's World War III, we're all gonna die, right? So it's like you have these fear responses to what's going on in the news and the media. And yes, there is something to worry about, right? Yes, there is something that we need to discuss and, you know, see if we can help out with, and these kinds of things. But it's never the apocalypse, is the way it's coming through. And so what happens, we have these news stories that break. They're designed, I think, to scare everybody. And then a week or two later, then you start to hear from the experts, right? Then the logic and the reason comes in, and they start to say, you don't have to panic. These are the true statistics. Let's look at the facts. Let's look at the figures. Everybody calm down. Let's analyze this situation. Let's, plug in our brains, basically. And everybody starts to calm down. And then there's another thing in the news. It tends to be like health scare, conflict and some kind of celebrity drama, and it's all designed to kind of keep us in a state of emotion, where we're not being logical and we're not using our reasoning skills. It means that the population is easier to be controlled. Now, I'm not saying this is happening in any specific current state or specific country, but what I'm saying is it is a strategy, and people who learn about politics or history will probably know about this strategy. Right? So that's all I'm saying. It's up for you to use your logical reasoning skills and decide if this is the case, and if there's something to what I'm saying, and if this applies to the current country that you're living in, or maybe a country that you're observing. I'm not saying anything of the sort. I'm just giving you historical fodder to think about. But you've got reason is treason, right? So it's almost like the experts, the people who come out and say, okay, that, the government and the big media, right? And big media and government can be like this in certain situations, right? Ideally, you'd have freedom of the press can report on whatever they want, but a lot of the time we do find that they go hand in hand, right? Especially certain news groups, are a little bit more supportive of governments than the kind of total free media. So you can look, again, you can discern for yourself which media kind of goes hand in hand with whoever's currently politically in power in your area and who's not, right? And then look at the treatment of experts, and look at, the people who come in and say, well, actually, here are the facts, right? Are these people supported, or are they ridiculed? Are they dismissed? But it's this concept, it's almost like the justice card with the Queen of Swords, which is coming through as you, and kind of like, almost like Hierophant in the reverse with the devil, kind of like you're trying to go and say, here's the logic, and they're saying, but we don't want you to bring logic to this situation, right? Because with the idea of reason is treason, right? It's like you bringing facts and logic and discernment to this situation is treason, because we're trying to make something happen here, because it's for the good of, the country, it's the good of the realm. And yes, it's a big white lie, and yes, it's designed to control the population, but it's also designed to keep the people in power who are in power, right? That's where the treason comes in. So this concept of reason is treason, you feel a little bit like Wonder Woman standing up to a corrupt government is the energy it's coming through as. You've also got the Sophia card came out. Now, Sophia is the ultimate woman. If you look at Carl Jung and his philosophy, the concept of womanhood in everybody's mind goes through 4 phases, and it starts out with this kind of like, what do they call it? The Madonna and the whore kind of, women are either pure and chaste and good, or they're evil and corrupt and devilish, right? And then the concept of woman, that's a very immature concept of woman, basically. It's like women 101, like you're writing a story, you're watching a movie, there's really basic characters, basic plot line in it. You've got the good girl and the bad girl, right? But people are more complex than that. So as somebody's, and this is something that's in everybody, right? It's our own concept of women, and we build this concept up by what we're fed. What should a woman be? What are our mothers like, and our grandmothers, and what are our sisters like, and what are our female role models like, and what are we shown in movies? Like, as a woman, how should I act? What does this movie tell me I should be doing? So, and of course we can bring critical thinking skills to that, but again, they don't want you to be the critical thinking skills. Nobody needs to learn that. What good is that, right? Just do what we say. What is it? This almost, I was thinking, is this going to be Sam? These are the letters that came out. I thought, is it going to be like Uncle Sam? It's like, Uncle Sam will take care of you. Don't think for yourself, little baby. It's no, Libra. I think you're seeing right through it. If there's a situation like this for you, being a bit of a brainiac, being an air sign, and air signs are all about logic and thought and communication and analytical skills, critical thinking. I don't think anyone's pulling the wool over your eyes, but it can be uncomfortable. It can be a difficult situation to be in, because if you can see right through it, right? If you can smell the big pile of BS in the field, you know, from a mile away, but everybody else is still happily doing ring of roses around it, you know, absolutely not noticing it. You know, it can be difficult, because then people are like, hey, why aren't you doing what the rest of the population is doing? Why aren't you doing what the peer group wants you to do? And you're like, because it smells like BS, right? It's like, it's dangerous, maybe don't do that. But everybody else is just merrily, like sheep, kind of doing their own thing, right? So maybe you've got this kind of like on the outside looking in. Maybe it's quite frustrating for you, because it's like you don't want to join in and kind of be kind of like almost like a brainwash person in a situation. It doesn't have to be government, by the way, either. Like, again, for you personally, it could be, you know, some kind of workplace scheme that everybody's kind of signing up to, and you're like, that is not in everybody's best interest. Why are you all agreeing to this? You know, it could be something like that. Or, you know, maybe it's even like a family thing, right? The head of the family, the person in charge is kind of like, right, this is what we're all doing. And you're like, what, why are we doing that? That makes no sense. And then the rest of the family turns on you and like, well, this is treasonous, right? If you're not with us, you're against us. Everybody okay out there? Everybody okay? I heard like a yell. Okay, so yeah, so you got Sophia. So Sophia is kind of like the like self-actualized woman, right? She's the epitome of womanhood. She's the knowledgeable woman. She's associated with kind of knowledge and education and things like this. And you've also got the new life card, funnily enough. So I'm very curious to see where where our reading goes. I've got a lot of Libra in my chart myself. To help you know if this is your reading or not, I've pulled some letters and words out. So hopefully this will make some sort of sense to you. If it doesn't immediately make sense, give it a little bit of time. It could be that this plays out for you over the next couple of days. But you've got the letters S, A, and Z. Now this could be somebody's initials. It could make you think, it could be like an acronym. So SA makes me think of like South Africa. Like I say, I was expecting it to say Sam, and then it wasn't, it was Saz. So maybe this is someone's nickname. Hey Saz. You've got memory, shadow, and beautiful. So again, this idea of like beautiful memories or nostalgia is coming up. You are coming through as kind of like being a little bit kind of like Six of Cups as well. I was kind of seeing certain tarot cards as I was channeling your energy. The visual that I had for you was like Wonder Woman kind of in her kind of like human disguise, but then like seeing an emergency happen and like going into like a phone box and spinning around and coming back out as Wonder Woman. So it's almost like maybe you're witnessing an injustice happen, or you're witnessing something happen where it's like you have to step in with your reasoning skills to kind of like solve that situation, is the way it's going through. But again, you really feel very, very powerful. You actually feel like you're in your power. That song played, is it Little Mix or something are they called? It's the one where they go motorbike. It's like the power. You make rain, but I'll make it shower. You know, it's like I've got the power. So I want to say you've got the power at this time, because it's like you're stepping into some kind of like final form, or the self-actualized version of yourself. It's like you're stepping into your own power, is the way it's coming through. So again, I think 2024 is going to be a challenging year for you, but I think you're kind of like the right person at the right time. You know, the universe is wanting you to perhaps challenge something. It could also be, if I bring this back down to kind of like a more personal level as well, it could just be that feeling of, you know, some people are logical and some people are more emotional. I was kind of getting the examples of kind of like, you know, King Lear and Cordelia, if you know that story, or, you know, Richard II kind of being surrounded by these kind of like flattering panderers. It's kind of like sometimes, I have Mercury and Venus in Libra. So for me, I show my loyalty to people by being honest and giving them the truth. Like that is a very, very brave and loyal thing to do, I think, because it's kind of like there's power in truth, right? There's power in knowledge. So if I give you my truth, even if I know it's painful, or even if I know it's not what someone wants to hear, that is me proving my loyalty. If I lie to you, I have no respect for you, right? If I can lie to your face, I absolutely don't, I am not loyal to you. Where I think I always associate this with the difference between like a Libra friend or a Cancerian or Pisces friend even. Like a water sign friend is more emotional, right? They care about how the person's going to emotionally be impacted by something. So they're more inclined to like white lies. So the example I give for this is, say you've got spinach in your teeth. You're out for a meal with your friends, you've got spinach in your teeth. Your Libra friend is going to go, or your Gemini friend, Aquarius friend, somebody who's quite cut and dry. If they've got, again, it's about your full birth chart and your different placements. So particularly like Mercury, Venus placements, these people are going to go, hey, you've got spinach in your teeth, like loudly at the dinner, like Sagittarius placements, right? It's like you've got to, because they're telling you, because they think, well, I'd want to know if I had spinach in my teeth. If I give them this information, they can do something about it. But it could be embarrassing to that person, but they don't necessarily think about that, right? Somebody who's more water, is going to be like, oh my goodness, my friend's going to be so embarrassed if I tell them that they've got spinach in their teeth. I'm just going to ignore it and pretend it's not there. Hopefully it's going to go away by themselves. It'll save them the embarrassment. So you can see the different approach. Both of them are very well-meaning, but they take something different into consideration. So yeah, it kind of gives me Libra dealing with a Libra dealing with a Cancerian. Cancer's like, why would you hurt me like that? And Libra's like, why would you betray me? Why would you hurt me? And Libra's like, I'm giving you the truth because I love you. Right? It's like a difference of like mode of operation, I want to say. What is Libra being asked to give up, leave behind? Whoa. Oh my God. Okay, daughter value, personal healing and happiness. That is quite a lot. 3 of those are about money, tangible wealth, comfort, very Pentacles energy. Oh gosh, I've just noticed I've got something black under my nail. I'm talking about black things in places where they shouldn't be. I've been doing a bit of cleaning, so I've got mucky nails. Sorry guys, I'm really busy, so I've not had time to kind of like sit down and kind of manicure my nails and make them pretty for this reading. That's the truth of the situation. So yeah, so this is looking like it looks like money. You're being asked to not worry about money. You're being asked to kind of like stop chasing money. Like money is not the thing that's important to you right now. So cornucopia is like having enough food on the table, having an abundance of food on the table, right? Having all your physical needs met, having a comfortable home, having a warm home, having money for electricity bills, right? So you can turn your radiator on, nutritious food, all that kind of thing. Blossoming abundance is like the potential for this. Daughter value, there could be things about feeling valued. This could be something about the difference between volunteer work or working for free because it's the right thing to do, and doing a job that you hate because you want to do it for the money. So I want to say Spirit is saying money and Pentacles isn't the door to personal healing and happiness for you. It's like that's the wrong door. Don't go through the money door. Which again, it feels like a lesson that I've been learning, right? It feels like a lesson that I've been learning in 2023, is the idea of kind of like not doing things for the money, and understanding that money can be a corrupting influence sometimes. Interesting. So what are you being asked to embrace? What is Libra being asked to do more of? Don't worry about the money, as patience as well. Like, give it all away. Money is the devil's currency, right? There's other things in life. Maybe this is just kind of like, tighten your belt buckle. Make do amend. Don't overspend. be careful with your money. There could be a more constrained phase coming in for you, which again is not something to worry about. You're a very, very creative sign, Libra. You are absolutely going to make do amend, right? You're going to be able to see the value in things that you would have previously thrown away and see the beauty of things that perhaps are a little bit cracked or a little bit worn. You know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And if anybody understands that, it's you. Look at the difference with these cards, 3-1 and 1-3. Yeah, there's something about the money that, and we'll pull more cards, but the path to money for you is spirit saying that's not right for you, right? That is not what you need. The funny thing is, Libra, when I was getting this Wonder Woman energy, I was almost seeing it as, it was like the Queen of Swords, which is you, right? The idea of being the truth speaker, somebody who values truth. But being supported by the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Cups. So it felt like, you know how the Empress is all 4 queens of the tarot? It was coming through like Wonder Woman, right? She's fighting for justice. She's speaking her truth. And there was this like anger or fire or drive or determination from it that was coming from like the Queen of the Queen of Wands. And then it felt like it was because of some kind of like nostalgia or memories, which felt very Cancerian to me. It's kind of like your home or, you know, the place where you grew up, which was feeling, like I say, very 6 of Cups, very, very Cancerian. So it's almost like maybe you have these placements, right? So I'd say like Sagittarius, Cancer, Libra. But it's like the Queen of Pentacles was missing, right? So it's almost like, you know, when a community's squeezed, you know, like austerity measures, for example, and, you know, people don't have any money, and yet they have a lot of love for their community, and they have a lot of anger, perhaps, at the things that are done to their community. And so they speak their truth and they tell the stories, and they tell the stories of the community to make people understand the impact that austerity measures are having on that community. So it almost feels like, not having money is not the obstacle for you, right? It's almost like you're doing this because of a lack of money or resources. You know, there's an anger there because it's not, I feel like it's not just you that's impacted by this. You've got something to, it's like you're challenging something. It's kind of like, where did the money go? Why is my cupboard bare? Right? Like, there should be enough for everybody. So why do some people have a banquet and while other people are in poverty? It's not fair, right? And it's not right. I feel like Aquarius is going to come backing you up as well. What is Libra being asked to let go of? Yang energy. So there again, I said you're coming through as very, very feminine. You're being asked to give up the yang energy. So to be the strong feminine, right? To be the mother, to be the you know, to not back up a corrupt patriarchy, but to support the people who are doing things with the heart. It doesn't have to be about men and women, right? Just, I'm aware that sometimes if men are watching something and people start going on about like, oh, fight the patriarchy and like women are great, sometimes if somebody identifies as male, it can feel like they're being pushed out or criticized. And I think, you know, what is being asked of people who identify as male in these situations when we're talking about kind of like the corrupt patriarchy, you know, the corrupt patriarchy hurts hardworking men too, you know, corrupt governments, they hurt hardworking men. It's the men who, you know, historically speaking, have had to give their lives in these times of, you know, corrupt governments who are out for the money, you know, making money from selling arms and things like this. You know, it's the men who tend to die first. So it's not about men and women. It's not even about rich or poor. It's about the greedy and the downtrodden, right? But this feels very, it's almost like the mothers uniting or something like that. And again, it's not about men and women. I just have to kind of like emphasize that. Imagine what you think about, you bring about. So you're being asked to imagine that you're happy. Imagine that you're happy. Dream a better reality into existence when you're going through hard times. You know, money isn't happiness. Money's just a tool, right? Like, okay, you can afford that holiday, but you can also be happy, you know, having a picnic on, you know, your hardwood floors. You know, it's like your bare floor of your new house. You can't afford furniture yet, but you can kind of like, you know, get a cheap tent and have like camp in your own living room, and that could be really fun for the kids. So happiness isn't necessarily, it doesn't. Yes, like money can be a tool to happiness, but it's not the be all and end all. There's other things, and it's about your creativity. I want to say your willingness to adapt and be imaginative in challenging circumstances is important. Um, okay, can we get some more, please, for Libra? What is Libra being asked to give up? Okay. Oh, so there's that Mars energy. Oh, look at that. You've got the... what was I telling you? I don't make these things up, guys. This card here, it's the Tower card, but it's the Tower in the Lenormand. Now, the Tower in the Lenormand deck doesn't mean kind of like everything falling down, a shock. It actually does talk more about Hierophant energy. Sort of Hierophant, justice energy, exactly what I was picking up on. And I was saying the Hierophant in the reverse. So it has come out in the reverse. So this is talking about some kind of institution that is not right, right? There's some kind of, again, corrupt government or, you know, some kind of institution that's not fit for purpose. You know, it's not doing the right things for the right reasons, and it's come through in reverse. Now, the interesting thing is, I don't know if this could be some kind of workplace for you, like a workplace romance or something, or it's strange because here's the Mars energy, right? You've got, could be something to do in an Aries as well, kind of like Emperor energy. You've got Yang, and then you've got the, it's kind of like the King of Wands. Actually, he's got the, it says Ace of Cups, which is interesting because that's like unconditional love. But you can see he's got the sign of Mars there. So this is kind of like the horny man to me. It's the yeah. Yeah. With Yang though, it could be talking about your Mars placement. It could be talking about how you take action. Mars is about, it can be about anger. It can be about what you do when you get angry, how you handle anger. The best thing to do is channel it into, channel rage into constructive action, right? So it's not enough to just be angry and make a comment on Twitter. You know, it's kind of like if you're really angry, if you really want to make change, you need to channel that fire into action, into movement, into you know, action that matters, action that's going to make a difference. So, but you're being asked to, interesting with the ring as well, because that can talk about like a commitment to the wrong person or a commitment to the wrong place, like action being taken for the wrong reasons. Again, it could be somebody, I mean, I don't know if I'm kind of getting a bit of a sugar daddy energy here, like somebody who has power and money and influence, but they're like spirit saying don't commit to that. Saying no to the Mars energy, no to the Yang energy. So what are we saying yes to? Oh, it's funny because I was making a joke about that Two Princes song the other day. You know, it's 1, 2 princes here before you. That's what I said now. Princes who adore you. And it says one man's got diamonds in his pocket. That's all bread now. This one says he wants to buy you rockets. It's in his head now. And I was kind of joking around and saying, like, you know, when I was a teenager, you know, it's like, don't go for the man with the money who doesn't love you, right? It's like, go for the guy who really loves you and he dreams of rockets. Right? He dreams of buying you rockets. And I was saying to my friend, like, the older I get, you know, and the more you realize how how difficult it is to get money, or the importance of money, especially when you've got children, right? You want to keep them fed, you want to have a nice warm home for them to live in. Money is an important thing. You can't just say, oh, let's not worry about money. It is something you need to take into consideration as an adult and as a parent. And so I was kind of joking around. I was saying, if that opportunity came up again, if I had the two princes, I'd take the one with diamonds in his pocket, because at least he can pay the bills, right? It's like, what good are imaginary rockets? But Spirit seems to be saying, stop being silly, Libra. The guy with diamonds in his pockets who doesn't really love you is not actually going to make you happy, right? And he's probably a big, massive arsehole, right? So maybe go for the man with the imaginary rockets. Maybe go for the romance, for the love. But this is, curiously enough, even though this is the flowers and this romantic gesture, it's tulips actually, not roses. I don't know if that's significant in any sort of way. It's the Queen of Swords, which is your card, Libra. And again, Libra's air signs are all about the brain, right? Logic, communication. And it's funny that it's not coming through as like cups energy, right? It's coming through as, but this is the logical choice, right? The romance and the imagination and the creativity is the logical choice in this situation. The money isn't. The money and the sex isn't the logical choice. Interesting. Your reading it's not surprising me, Libra, but it's not what I was expecting. Tell me more, immediately, about what Libra is giving up. Imprisonment. I'm not going to jail for this dickhead who's, I don't know, this politician. Maybe it is, maybe a politician going to jail, or maybe it is like, I'm not going to jail. I'm not going to jail because of the money. I don't know, maybe it's like something about paying a fine or something. It's like, just pay the fine. Funny, jail keeps coming up. I'm going to clarify jail. I'm not going to jail for your money laundering crimes, sir. Okay, so financial constraints. Imagine romance, logical romance that makes you happy. That's the thing as well. Like, I like Cancerian's amazing. I've got a Cancerian North Node. It's an energy I need to embrace more. Cancerian friends, love them to pieces. Friends with Cancerian placements. I understand how beautiful Cancerian energy is, but they can be drama queens, and I would not want to be in a relationship with a Cancerian. I'm sorry to break all the Cancerians' hearts out there. I'm too much swords energy. Like, I can't with that amount of cups energy. It's too much for me, right? I can't give on the emotional level that Cancerians need, right? So what I'm saying with that, guys, again, maybe you've got really strong Cancer placements. I'm not seeing Cancer here, by the way. I'm seeing actually Aries, Mars, maybe a bit of Pisces. Maybe some like earth sign energy as well there, like Capricorn, Taurus energy, but Taurus is definitely in the reverse for you. Yeah, it's like, this is why it's so important not just to look at your sun sign, but to look at your full birth chart when you're talking about compatibility, because you need compatibility in the right areas. So for example, if you're working with somebody, you probably need to have compatible Mars placements and Mercury placements, so you can communicate with each other and get things done. If you're in a romantic relationship, it's so important to have compatible Venus signs, because Venus is how you love, right? And what you need in love. And if that's not compatible, then that relationship is going to be quite difficult. So for people who have water sign placements in the Venus area of the chart, they need a lot of emotional support. They need to talk about their feelings, or they need their feelings to be understood, and they are emotional people, right? And then you might have somebody who has a swords placement, an air sign placement. I've got air sign Libra, right? So very, very romantic. I love to be romanced, but I'm also very logical, right? And yeah, too much water, I just can't. So it's like important, but wanting a partner that I can have really deep discussions with, and I can have, be very philosophical with, and kind of somebody who is intelligent and logical. You know, I find intelligence so attractive. It's actually kind of a character flaw. I'm like, oh, that evil villain, the evil villain who's outsmarting everybody. Oh, could go for that one. It's a problem. Yeah, I think intelligence is attractive. So again, like different people expect different things from relationships. And you want the romance, but you don't want the drama, I want to say. Adjudication. Interesting, you're being asked to embrace adjudication, but not imprisonment. It's curious that. I was getting maybe somebody's like a justice of the peace, you know, like a JP, a judge. But generally, that energy is associated with Libra, right? Having good judgment, having good discernment, being able to weigh up a situation fairly, being able to listen to both sides of a situation and not kind of criticize. Well, Libra is quite a critical energy, but to be able to bring logic to a situation where there's a lot of emotions involved is actually a big skill of Libran energy. So yeah, you're being asked to be very discerning at this time, especially if there's money involved or emotions involved. It's like you are being asked to be logical and to weigh things up and to be very Libran, because you have got the Queen of Swords next to adjudication, and that is very much your energy, especially because you're ruled by Venus, right? It's like, that doesn't mean that I don't want flowers. Just because I'm a logical person, it doesn't mean I don't appreciate some pretty roses, like ruled by the goddess of art and love and beauty. It's like, I want that too. Okay. Libra, what are you leaving behind? Tell me about all the money. Whoa. Oh, could be a shock. Feels a bit like the rug being pulled out from underneath you. I've been getting this idea of kind of a Kaplunk or Jenga coming through a lot, especially in terms of like towers. It's like and it all comes crumbling down, right? This is the thing with money. Things change, right? You could spend your whole life building up your financial safety net, and it can go in an instant. You know, think about things like, you know, the Wall Street crash, or you know, the housing crash, or you know, so many different things where throughout history where, you know, something that's been very valuable can become worthless overnight. So again, just be careful about not putting all your eggs into one basket. Even if, say, for example, you've got a savings account with different banks, sometimes different banks are all under the same umbrella, right? They're all part of the same group. So if the group goes down, all those banks go. So just make sure kind of like you're investing in different, like very, very independent, different banks if this is about money for you. But yeah, I feel like you can't, it's almost like those eggs, right? It's not even about putting all your eggs in one basket. It's like you've been trying to crack some golden eggs open, and it turns out the rotten. And I'm not trying to scare you if you have been worried about your investments. I think really the message is just, you know, don't count on it. Don't bank on it. Don't make that the be all and end all. Because, you know, you can be expecting things and that can change. Tell me about why personal healing and happiness is here. Yes, definitely missing something. Because that's not making you happy, right? Your happiness is over here with financial constraints. The money isn't going to make you happy. Tell me about this horny Mars guy. Yeah, he's a horny Mars guy. You've got somebody who's like a player around you. This guy's not going to stick around, whoever this is. Don't trust that one. Yeah, absolute player energy. Like, out to get his dick wet. Tell me about the Tower in reverse. Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, times are changing. There's going to be a big shift. I do think we're going to see, I talk about this a lot, with Pluto leaving Capricorn and going into Aquarius. We're going to see a lot of shifts in terms of, you know, structures, banking, financial institutions, all these things that are ruled by Capricorn, homes, property, governments, anything associated with Capricorn energy. There's going to be a turn of the wheel in Aquarius's favor. So think about that. What does Aquarius value? Aquarius values, you know, social things, you know, communities sticking together. It values, you know, fairness and equality and liberalism and, you know, creativity and imagination and innovating. So, you know, lean into those kind of things, Libra. You know, stay ahead of the curve. What is financial constraints? Why is Libra being asked to embrace financial constraints? Because it's going to help you to be independent in some sort of way. You will be financially independent by being creative. It's like by keeping things lean, right? You're going to maintain your financial independence. So I want to say there could be something that's kind of very devilish here and very tempting. They're saying, hey, invest in me, Libra. You know, don't marry her, fuck me. I don't know why it came through like that, but it did. You know, don't marry him, marry me. I'm the one with the money. And yet maybe this person doesn't foresee the walls are going to come crumbling down. So it's kind of like, don't get into a commitment with whoever this is, Libra, because that's not a good thing. Why is imprisonment there? Whoa. Something about a choice. Could be something about just financial. And the Nine of Wands is about persevering with something, not giving up, but it can also talk about physical injury. There could be something about medical bills, even medical insurance, medical bills, you know, especially if you live somewhere like in the UK. We're currently, and knock on wood, nothing changes with this, but we're blessed with having the NHS, and you know, everybody can get quite decent, actually, if you think about it globally, you know, really quite decent healthcare. And yeah, there's problems, there's like waiting lists and things like that, but you know, it's free health. Well, it says free, but it's actually you pay into it, you make national insurance contributions. So, but if you live somewhere, for example, like in America, and you don't have good health cover or good health insurance through your work, perhaps, it's kind of like you get sick, so you can't work. But if you're sick and you can't work, then you don't have medical insurance through your work. So how do you pay your medical bills? I wonder if this person's coming towards you. Could even be a situation. Now, this is really specific, Libra. This is a really, really specific one. It could be a situation where somebody's sick. And they think, if I marry Libra and Libra has money, they can pay for my medical bills. Something like that. It's very far-fetched. And it's not going to be for every single person, but do bear that in mind if it's something that could be a situation for you. So don't marry that one. Be financially independent, even if it means, because it's like this person could show up and they could look really rich, right? They could be like, they could show up in a fucking Lamborghini, but 5 years down the line, you know, they could have had some very expensive medical procedures, and it's like all that money's gone. Where if you make do on your own, make do and mend here, you're financially independent. It's like you're not gonna get sucked into that. It's such a strange reading. Tell me about imagine for Libra. It's like you've got a good imagination, you're fine. Get over it. There's something better. Imagine something better than the thing that was disappointing in the past. Tell me about the Queen of Cups with the tulips. Why are the flowers here? It's very romantic. Justice. Well, there you go. Queen of Swords, justice. What did I tell you? With adjudication. I mean, that's courts, that's contracts, that's if there is some kind of court, especially because you've got jail over here, if there is something about courts or legalities or contracts, the justice card in the upright indicates a ruling in your favor. Perhaps because you don't get involved, right? Because especially if there's something shifty or dodgy going on over here, we've not got the deceit card, but if there's something a bit untoward going on over here, and your finances get mixed up in that, you know, it could be quite a bad situation for you. So, you know, keep yourself separate. Tell me more, please. Yeah, there's some kind of betrayal. Yeah, no, look after number one, Libra. Yeah, you need to be quite independent in whatever the situation is. Wow, the Emperor under that. Kick him out, Libra. I don't know what this is. Okay. I kind of want to get another song, actually, at this point. Can I get another song for Libra? Is there anything that we need to know? Can we get some advice? How do we stay out of jail, please? I don't want to go to jail. I'm too young. I'm too pretty. Sex Bomb. You've got Sex Bomb by Tom Jones. What? Tom Jones Reload. Mousse tea. Spy on me, baby, you a satellite. So spy on me, baby, you a satellite. Infrared to see me move through the night. Aim, gonna fire, shoot me right. I'm gonna like the way you fight. Now you've found the secret code I use to wash away my lonely blues. So I can't deny or lie, because you're the only one to make me fly. You're a sex bomb. Come and give it to me when I need to come along. Baby, you can turn me on. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I can turn you on. It doesn't mean I owe you anything, mate. I don't know. Libras. Okay. Yeah, just try and be as independent as you can. I don't know what's going on. It's like, don't marry this one. Whatever you do. He's a spin doctor. It's funny because you had that spin thing a few readings back. So what are we on now? So it could have been October, perhaps. One of the Libra readings had this thing about, I was being shown that scene in Chicago with, I've forgotten the actor's name now. Oh, I can't pull in his name, but he, it's the song where he's like puppeting the press and puppeting the media. And so I was getting this whole like spin doctor energy from that. So it's like, who's this spin doctor? See, it's a very Libran thing, though. Libra could be the spin doctor. It's like, how do we spin this? Very, very curious. Okay, so what is Spirit helping Libra with at this time, please? There you go. Loosen your grip. Coping mechanisms, density, addiction, let God in. Which is interesting because you've got imagination, right? Coping mechanisms. Your imagination is a coping mechanism. I say it's a design feature, not a design flaw. So, you know, basically like kind of like disassociating. Like, I am just going to ignore this situation until it goes away. I don't know if that's the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do. It's definitely one of my coping mechanisms. You know, like when it's hard, when life's hard and you're having a tough time of it, it's like, you know, I can just meditate and tell myself a beautiful story. And it's like, yeah, I'd rather be here than there. It's kind of like the power of Pisces energy as well. If you've got any Pisces or in your chart, or Neptune's doing something, it can be a little bit rose tinted though. Libra, you are inclined to be a little bit rose tinted goggles like Pisces. So again, be careful of that. We're cyclic beings, and Mother Earth teaches us how to be human every day with the coming and going of the tides and the seasons. If you're clinging to anything, you're resisting the natural flow of who you are. The things we cling to are so often those we most need to let go of. The food, the substances, the relationship, the job, the people pleasing. Isn't that funny? Let go of the food? Maybe there's a food that's not doing you any good. People pleasing, Libras. Stop people pleasing. The things we cling to often cover up our most vulnerable space, the part we're most afraid to leave empty, the part we guard and don't let grace into. But by keeping that space covered with something that doesn't serve us, or clinging to it for fear of not staying of its own accord, we prevent ourselves from receiving the things that will. A Course in Miracles tells us, whenever we leave empty, what does it say? Sorry, A Course in Miracles. So it looks like it's a book title. Whatever we leave empty, grace will fill. And the Buddha says, you can only lose what you cling to. Indeed, both are true. If this card appears, you're being called to find the courage to loosen your grip and give up control, to release your coping mechanisms and leave space for grace and God to enter, to surrender all that feels dense to the divine. Loosening your grip doesn't mean that what you're clinging to will go away. It may, or it might stay, but you can be sure that what is for you will find you. And you'll breathe easier knowing that you've shifted from relying on your own strength to surrendering to the grace of life. What are you clinging to for fear of nothing coming to take its place? So you could be clinging to money, right? To resources, to money. That's definitely a lesson for me. I've got, again, Capricorn is associated with money. And I've got a Capricorn Lilith placement. And your Lilith does control fears. So that's why my imposter syndrome comes through. And it's why I'm like, hey, I'll work for peanuts. Don't value my time. So yeah, again, maybe you do. Maybe you need to do some volunteer work or something, something that's for a different reason than for money. Like we all have to, we all have to earn money. We all have to pay for food. We all have to, pay our bills and things like that. So work isn't something that, we can just ignore the need for. But for example, I do this not for money, but because I feel led to do it. I do these readings because I hope that they're helpful, because it's a spiritual service, that I'm doing. I don't earn anything from it. If anything, I lose valuable time. And yet the concept of value isn't just money, right? It isn't just financial. Value can be spending time with somebody you love. Value can be, caring about something even that other people don't care about. Like, value is in the eye of the beholder. So it doesn't always have to have a financial reward at the end of it. Value can come from a compliment, or the feeling of a job well done. It doesn't have to be, or even just being like, I hope this was helpful to someone, is enough for me to keep doing these readings. So yeah, interesting. Addiction as well. Do you have some kind of addiction, especially in terms of like food or substances? Behaviors, you can have addictive behavior patterns. Okay. Also, addiction can be costly if you're addicted to, like, say, a behavior. I'm addicted to watching movies every Saturday night. It costs me a lot of money. I'm spending too much money going to the movies, right? It could even be like addicted to a certain substance that's quite costly. It doesn't have to be your addiction either. It could be somebody else's addiction. Okay, you are being helped. You've got quite a few spirit guides coming out. Are they all female? Oh, you've got Jesus. I love Jesus. What's that? What's that Trisha Paytas song? Forgiveness, compassion, the spiritual teacher. All right, well, Jesus has got your back, guys. He hasn't come out for anybody else. Sorry, you're doing well with that. Artemis, intention, focus, and goals. Archangel Gabriel, self-expression, creativity, and North Star. I did say my North Star was Cancer, actually, funnily enough. Divine Union, New Earth, Holy Grail, and Oneness. Lady Sarah. I'm going to put Lady Sarah with Jesus there. Okay. Well, you've got a lot of spirit guides around you. You've got a lot of divine support. This can come in via... This can be literal, actual deities that you pray to, that you associate with. For others of you, this could just be values, spirit guides that have certain values that they're helping you with at this time. It can even be kind of like people showing up in your life to give you support. So these may be people who look kind of familiar to you, like, oh, she looks like my neighbor, or she looks like my co-worker, right? Maybe you know somebody called Jesus. So yeah, all these energies are here to help you at this time, and you actually have 4 cards, and that's quite a lot of spiritual support. So that is good. And then what's the advice, please, from Spirit for Libra? What is the advice, please? Take time to breathe out. That's funny, because when I did this reading for myself, my reading was actually quite different, but I can definitely see how this would apply to me, having a lot of Libra in my chart. Not to make it all about myself, but just because, I've got so much Libra in my chart, the Libra reading should make some sense to me. But yeah, I had this thing about breathing. It's like, don't panic, let go of anxiety, just breathe was my message over here. I had anxiety in reverse, and the card that says breathe. So yeah, similar message. Take time to breathe out. Maybe just slow down, take a breath, you know? Nothing is yet set in stone. I don't know. It feels like things are kind of in flux for you. Things like there's changes, there's movement, which can be really scary. So again, if you're going through kind of like a cycle change, which I want to say happens to everybody when Pluto shifts signs. You know, it's shifting from one house to another house in your chart. It just, the house depends on your own personal chart. So yeah, there is this big shift coming. I want to say a collective shift, which can feel very, very scary. So you're going to be okay. Just breathe through it. Be creative. Be resourceful. And protect your independence in something. Don't get involved in any kind of like weird schemes. You know, you don't want to get involved in that. All right, I hope this was helpful, Libra. I kind of feel like I need to get you another song. See if we can get you an advice song. Can we get the best advice you can possibly give Libras at this time? Give them some good practical advice to make 2024 easier on themselves. Boy shit. Madison Beer. I'm letting you in, you're letting me down. I swear when you talk, you just like the sound. One too many times, I let you ruin my life. But I thought you would change, but I see it now. All the yelling and kissing and fighting, we never could see eye to eye. Because you must seem like a man, but you're not one in your mind. Yeah, I'm back on my shit and it's tempting to call you and see how you're doing. But I couldn't understand you if I tried. I don't speak boy shit. You're always coming back, but your love's poison. So I think that I would rather just avoid it. I can't understand you. I don't speak boy shit. Don't know how to talk or communicate. We're so on and off. To you, it's a game. If you don't level up, I'm leaving you in the dust. I'm moving on until you start trying to act your age. Well, there you go. I don't know what you're dealing with, but you don't speak boy shit. You're not like whoever this one is, right? Whoever this one is. Running in, trying to get his dick wet. And again, it doesn't have to be a guy. Definitely you've got somebody who's a bit too preoccupied with sexual matters, let's put it that way. And with the Yang, this one, just don't, Libra. Just don't, right? Stay independent. I hope this was helpful to you all. Do take care of yourselves. Have a lovely 2024. Keep being yourself because, again, think Wonder Woman. Again, I do care what your gender is because it's important to you, but it doesn't matter right now. Don't worry about your gender. Think Libra energy, right? Beautiful Venus energy, Wonder Woman energy, truth, justice, love, right? Hold your values, hold true to yourself. And yeah, I think you're going to go in the right direction. Take care. See you again soon. Bye, friends.